Hi, Marcia Woon Choy here again, and it's time for another of our Tuesday business tips, folks. And this afternoon, it's a very, very sobering time as we see that what we had been fearing would happen would be that our cases of COVID-19 would be rising, and they are. And one thing we have to make sure, business owners and team members, is that we do everything within our power to ensure that we do not have to go back to a lockdown, that we do not have to close our doors again. And as I go through this presentation today I'm going to be giving some examples of, again, what happens when, our teams, the people we rely on in our company, don't do the things that we need them to do during this time. So what's our topic today? And our topic is when times are tough, and we are in tough times, service matters most. And it matters more than ever. More than ever, service now matters. And so today we seem to be bombarded constantly with news of the rising cases of COVID. We see our economy struggling. We see our dollar devaluing. We hear of so many businesses we just had, people from the tourism industry last week, Thursday, and we were sharing about the impact of COVID on the tourism sector. And we see so much decline. And then, we ask, are we in a recession? We absolutely are. We are in a global recession. And it's a severe one as well. And some of you may say, well, is it all just bad news? I hear people saying, I feel so depressed. I feel so anxious. I feel down. But certainly not. It's not all bad news. And secondly, is there anything that we as business people can do to overcome some of these pressures? Because we always say, control what you can control. So absolutely, there are things that we can do. But success in these challenging times is never easy, and it is going to demand commitment, hard work, and folks, I want to say this word, an obsession with customer service. And I do mean an obsession with customer service. Absolutely obsession. So in difficult times, what happens is that many businesses focus on cutting costs, which is understandable and is generally a prudent thing for us to do, because that's what we had said in our earlier sessions, and I still am saying that. But some of us are actually trying to cut out costs by cutting corners in our customer service, and this is the wrong thing to do right now, because in this time, service matters more than ever. And I'm going to tell you why. So when people buy during an economic downturn, as is happening now, they're going to be very extremely conscious of every hard-earned cent that they spend. So during this time, and they're very hypersensitive now, during this time, customers actually want more attention, appreciation, and recognition for their purchases, because especially if I'm braving to come out of my house and go through your doors. So they want to feel appreciated and recognized for the fact that you came, that I turned up. The other thing is that customers want to be sure that they get maximum value for the money that they choose to spend. Remember, they're looking at every single dollar right now. So they want, when they come in, they want assistance. They need you to educate them on how to buy, training, if it is something that they have to install or they need to learn how to use it, any modifications and support. So whatever industry you're in, think about the customer. A lot of times we're customer centric, Well, this is a time when we really have to sit down and think about what is it? How can we give maximum value to the customers that we have? So the basic product may remain the same to the client, but actually what they want is more service. They want to feel that you're going above and beyond to help them in the use of the service. The other thing is that customers want stronger guarantees that their purchase was the right thing to do. Again, what do guarantees do? So those of you who are in coaching, you know that what a guarantee tends to do is take away the risk of buying. So in Action Coach, we have a 13-week guarantee, where we say that if after 13 weeks, if you don't get the value from your investment, then we coach you till you do. And so guarantees help customers to reduce their risk. And so they want to feel with a guarantee that, if you have one, then it's the right thing to do. So in good times, a single bad purchase, sometimes I buy things, especially online, and oh my God, it never fit. It wasn't exactly what I expected. So in good times, a single bad purchase may be quickly overlooked or forgotten. And in a situation like I just described, it didn't fit. All right, well, I can't, but let me just put it down. But in tough times, every cent is scrutinized. So provide the customer with the assurance that you have guarantees and give very generous service guarantees, regular follow-up with them, and speedy follow-through on any queries or complaints. So if you receive a query or a complaint after somebody has purchased, follow through on it. Sometimes your team members are doing nothing. Get them to be working and ensuring that they're calling customers who purchase after to say, listen, is everything okay? Was the service, did the product work well? Do a follow-up. In tough times, people spend less time traveling. Now, we know that in COVID time, people don't really want to travel if they don't have to. And I'm not just talking traveling overseas. I'm talking traveling to the supermarket, traveling to the restaurant, traveling to anywhere. Especially now that they have heard that, guess what? The cases are rising. So they're not going to spend less time traveling, whining, and dining. And they want to spend more time carefully shopping for each and every purchase. So giving good service enhances your customer shopping experience and boosts your business image. So especially if you're doing online now, make it easy for them to make the choice. Give them as much, that's why I love Amazon. When I go online to buy anything from Amazon, there is so much information they're giving me. They're giving me a million views of the product. I bought a couple of things on Amazon the other day. I could turn the product around. I could look at it from little angles. I could zoom in. I could make sure that everything was correct. Everything was fine. And then they told me other things that I could buy with it. They gave me customer reviews and I read up everything. And by the time I was done, I said, yes, I'm comfortable. And the experience was good. So when times are good, people make decisions quickly. I'm a high D, dominant person, this profile, and I don't take long to buy. And sometimes don't notice your efforts. So people make decisions quickly. They don't even see all of these things when times are good. But in tighter times, people are going to move more cautiously and they notice every extra effort that you make. So when money is tight, also many people experience a sense of lower self-esteem. Now, I think right now, the amount of anxiety that there is. People don't have enough money. They can't pay their rent. They're not even sure if they're going to be able to pay their car loans. And because their income is lower or they have none, that a lot of people attach self-worth to the amount of money that they have. And so money is tight. They experience a sense of lower self-esteem. So when they get good service, sometimes when you feel down, especially us women, what we love to go out and do is when we're not feeling so good, we go and shop. So when they get good service from your business, when they do come out to purchase the few things that they can, it helps to boost their self-image because yes, they may not have a lot of money and they don't feel very good about where they are right now. But when they came into your workplace, because you're actually into your store or they made you made them just feel so great, and it helps to boost their self-image. And so when they feel good about themselves, they feel good about you and will say, boy, and I went into this store and man, they treated me so great. And when they feel good about you, that's what you have to remember, people buy on emotions, not logic. So if you make the experience great, if you make them feel special, then they're going to feel, yeah, man, I must buy something. So when they feel good about you, they'll buy. And then in tough times, people talk more with each other. Yeah, man, everybody's on there and they talk about saving money and getting good value. So positive word of mouth. I always say this, we always say raving fans sell for you. Great customer service sells. Great service sells. So the positive word of mouth is a powerful force at any time. So in difficult times, even more ears will be listening. And let me tell you right now, everybody's on the phone, they're on Zoom, they're on WhatsApp call, they're on FaceTime, they're on Skype, because they're not going out that much. So people are conversing a lot more with each other. So in difficult times, even more ears will be listening. So be sure that the words spoken about your business are good ones. So that is why, those are the list of reasons why service matters more now. So if giving great service in tough times makes good business sense, the question is then, how do I actually achieve it? So I'm going to give you 8 proven principles that you can use. And the first one of these is understand how your customers' expectations are rising and changing over time. Now, when talk about once, remember, I tell you, I was going to come back to the sanitizing thing. So right now, our expectations concerning that when I go into a store or any place that I decide in this COVID time that I am going to visit, one thing that I am checking for, and I'm just telling you this right off the bat, because it's my life, I'm looking around to see what is your sanitization protocols. Are your people observing it? I'm going to tell you again, my expectations are higher. So I went into a restaurant for dim sum on Sunday to pick up the food because I didn't want to stay inside there. So I went for takeout. Walked in. Nobody greeted me at the door. No sanitizing equipment. I go up to the cashier. I ask for my order. And everybody's starting to interact with me. And I'm noticing, hold on here now, I don't see anything. So I asked her, where is the sanitizing thing? See it over there? Some bottles sitting on the counter in the corner. And I said to her, but isn't the protocol that you're supposed to tell the person to go to the sanitizing station? Because this is a restaurant, and people are dining, which means they walk straight into the restaurant, are seated, and without sanitizing, start to interact with the table and the different things in the restaurant, including going to the restroom. And I was extremely uncomfortable. And I said to her, this cannot be. So I said, recognize right now that in this time, your customers' expectations are rising and they're changing. And what was good enough earlier this year is no longer. You're going to have to step up your game. You're going to have to train your team. So before this, we'd accept the lack of following of systems by our team members. Now you have to take greater care in training and training and training and letting them understand that, listen, you have to follow these protocols because customers like me who went to that restaurant will not be going back through that door again, because it was clear that it was the standard. The way it was said to me was clear that the owner and the management of the restaurant was not enforcing it. I was just told, see the bottles over there? Everybody was interacting and nobody, I watched a number of people walked in and not one person sanitized their hands. So it's important to recognize that during this time, our expectations are rising. And when I give feedback as a customer, that the team, you're getting live feedback from me. I didn't just walk out and say it, I gave the feedback. So we need to understand what it is that our customers want during this COVID-19 tough time, what they value. I value this now because anything I touched after that when I left there, I was very concerned about. And then think about what they're getting or not getting from your business. So it's very important that we train our team, understand what the expectation is now. And as of yesterday, when the minister posted all the areas, and now we recognize that we have community spread. Everybody, I watched everybody driving around today. I saw people now finally in route taxis with masks on and people trying to social distance because now they're taking it serious. They realize that, oh my gosh, COVID is keeping after all. So that's one. What's number two? We must use quality service to differentiate your business from your competition. So what does that mean? Remember, you're not the only one in your industry. Your products need to be reliable and up to date. But your competitors are likely to be as well, because everybody right now, and I remember one of the things I said earlier in one of our sessions, that COVID has kind of like leveled the playing field, because now everybody had to start again. Okay, I can't have walk-in, I can't have dining in the initial stages. How else can I deliver? So everybody was looking at now different ways to do that. And so whoever could deliver and deliver efficiently was going to get the business. So your delivery systems must be fast and user-friendly. But understand, as time has progressed, so are your competitors. So we need to make a real difference. You need to create a real difference by providing real personalized, responsive, and extra mile service. So it's not just delivery. I remember I ordered delivery from someone. It took forever for the meal to get to me. And this is somebody who normally, in good times, the food was good. Well, by the time the food came to me, it was soggy and it was lukewarm and it included soup. It was just awful. I just didn't finish it. So we have to make sure that we differentiate ourselves in terms of how we are going to deliver, and deliver fast and be responsive and make it in such a way that people will appreciate and remember the whole delivery system. So personalize it, be responsive, and go that extra mile. I want to see that happening right now to differentiate yourself from your competition. The third thing is that we need to set and achieve very high standards now. High service standards. You need to go beyond the basic. Right now on the North Coast, for every single restaurant or hotel that is opening now, it's like you're vying for the very few visitors that are there. Even this weekend, holiday weekend, where all of us in Jamaica are doing staycations, everybody's there is vying for a visitor. So we have to go beyond the basic and expected level of service, as calling somewhere and the person said to me, call reservations back tomorrow. When you call, speak to this person. My recommendation is don't book this room yet. Book this room, because when you do that, this person is authorized to give you X percentage reduction. And then remember, at this time you may also be upgraded to a premium room. So this person is now giving me all the information to help me to make sure, because the reservation desk wasn't opening now. But this person was letting me know that when you call reservation tomorrow, do these things, because he wants to make sure that, guess what? He doesn't lose me. He wants to let me know that, yes, today the reservation person is not here, but if you call back tomorrow, this is what you will get. And it was beyond. And he's making sure that I will get the room. And so he is giving me so much information. So go beyond the basic and expected level of service to provide your customers with desired and even surprising interaction. And that interaction to me was very surprising. This person is not in reservations. He's just the person who checks in at the front desk, not reservations. But he's giving me this information. He's showing me that he has an interest in having me return. Determine the norm. So what you need to understand is that when we do this with our clients, we use what we call a unique selling proposition questionnaire. And in that questionnaire, what we're trying to do is helping them to come up with something that's unique about them. And one of the things we do is we start to look at what's a norm in your industry? What are the frustrations in your industry? So determine what is the norm. A norm is just okay for service in your industry. So find out what that is. What is the norm? What is the average in your industry? And then set yourself and your team to think about a way to go beyond that, to go beyond what is considered the standard or the norm. Give more choice than usual to your customers. Be more flexible than normal and be faster in the way you turn around than the average, and extend a better warranty than all the others. So it means during this time, folks, you have to start really thinking out of the box. Remember I said we have to pivot. We have to start to think about how can we do differently. You have to raise your standards because right now, remember what I said, everybody is thinking carefully about how to spend that dollar, and they're going to spend wisely. So your customers will begin to notice your higher standard, especially if you stand out way above everyone else. But eventually, even the highest standards can be copied. So always remember, you may raise it, somebody copy it. So I always say Kaizen, constant and never-ending improvement. You raise a level, you plateau for a while, then you have to innovate again, change, and go to the next level. So we don't slow down. We have to keep on improving. We have to keep getting better. So what's the fourth one now? We have to learn to manage our customers' expectations. Now, this one is very important for me. You can't always give your customers everything that their hearts desire. So let's say I'm a bank and I want my credit card in 2 days. I may want it in 2 days, but there's no way I'm going to get it in 2 days because there is no way it can happen in 2 days, not based on the process. So you can't always give customers everything their hearts desire. But sometimes what we need to do is to bring their expectations into line. So remember, with what you know you can deliver, which is your process, your standard. So you need to bring it in. And the best way to do this is by first building a reputation for being upfront, making it clear, and keeping clear promises. So once you have established a base of trust and good reputation, then you only need to ask your customers for their patience in the rare circumstances when you cannot meet their first request. So if you say normally we do it in 5 days and you're always doing it in 5 days, then in the rare time that you go beyond the 5 days, they will understand. 9 times out of 10, they will extend their understanding and the leeway that you need if you deliver normally within the standard times. The second way to manage customers' expectations and indeed to exceed them, and I know you know this one, is with a tactic called under promise and over deliver. And it works like this. Your customer wants something done fast. You know it will take 1 hour to complete. Don't tell your customer 1 hour. Let them know, guess what? I'm going to rush this project, but then promise 90 minutes. Then when you're done in just an hour, as you knew you would be all along, then your customer will be delighted that you actually finished the job so quickly. So don't promise less. Always promise under promise and over deliver. So instead of saying 60, say 90, but you're going to deliver within 60. All right? So that's one. Let's look at the other one now. So, bounce back with effective service recovery. Oh, I used to work within the banking sector, and trust me, as we all know, with thousands of transactions, something, hundreds of thousands of transactions, sometimes things can go wrong. And when it happens to your customers, you need to do everything you can to make things right again as soon as possible. You need to fix the problem. You know, sometimes problems occur and everybody start ducking and they start to blame you and they start to blame each other. No. When something goes wrong, make every single effort to right it again and do it as quickly as possible. And for God's sake, show concern, sincere for concern for any discomfort, frustration, or inconvenience that you have caused me. Then do a little bit more by giving your customers something positive to remember. For example, a token of goodwill. Thank you for your patience. Here is a gift. On your next purchase, this is what you will get. Or come back in and we will give you this. So it's a small gift of appreciation, a discount on future orders, or even an upgrade to a higher class of product. I remember I went to a hotel in Las Vegas. No, it was in New Orleans. And when I checked in, I was very disappointed in the room. And I'm saying, but this is not working. And then in addition to that, this is not what I had expected. I had expected a king. I'm seeing two doubles. And immediately, the manager said, Miss Woon, we will fix this. I was upgraded to a suite and everything without no additional cost. I was upgraded to a higher class of that room because they recognized that it was their error. They recognized that things were not done correctly. Somebody also had not checked the room before checking me in as a guest and approving that room for persons to be able to go in. So this is not the time to lay blame, by the way, for what went wrong. Don't start to do that now and look around for whose fault was it. No, instead just, restore the customer goodwill. It is worth the price in future orders and new business. Just make me happy. Look after the customer, and then afterwards you can find out what caused it and make sure that as business owners we put a system in place so it doesn't happen again. What's the next one? Appreciate your complaining customers. So we're gone 6 now. So appreciate your complaining customers. Boy, a lot of times we hate customers to complain. But customers who complain can be your best allies in building and improving your business. When they complain is sometimes also because they want you to know. They could have just left and not said anything and never returned, and then tell everybody everything bad about your business. But they complained. And so look at it as being an opportunity to get feedback in how to improve your business. So when customers complain, they're pointing out to you where your system is faulty. And for you, if you're a business owner who says, I understand that systems run my business and people run systems. So I want to make sure that my systems are airtight. So when somebody complains, it shows you where the system is faulty and where your procedures are weak or problematic, and think of that as being a gift, because immediately are going to say, okay, now what's the weakness? Let us fix this so it don't happen again. So what a complaining customer does, so look at it from the positive side. They show you where your products are below expectations or your service doesn't measure up. And folks, don't get defensive. It's a learning experience. They point out areas as well where your competitors may be getting ahead because they've gotten better service elsewhere, which means that you're behind the 8 ball here, or where your team is falling behind. So these are the same insights and conclusions that people pay consultants to provide. It's true. You're going, can I have somebody come in and audit our system and to make sure that our procedures are correct? Well, you don't even need to do that because the complaining customer has done it for you. So you don't have to pay a consultant because the complainer gave you that advice free. And remember this, for every one person who complains, and I'm going to tell you this, there are many more that won't even bother to tell you. Yeah. I have sent out sometimes some emails in promotions, and somebody comes back to me in the thousands of persons I've sent it and say, Coach, in sentence 2, this was missing a S. I'm so grateful to them that they showed it to me, because sometimes you can proofread something and you don't see it. And I welcome it. So there are, they told me, rather than leaving the mistake out there and us not knowing. So remember, there are some people who won't bother to tell you. There are others and then they just take their business elsewhere. They just say nothing to you when they don't complain. But at least the complainer gives you a chance to reply and to set things right. So let's embrace the complainers and not get defensive. It's a way for us to get better. What's number 7? We must take personal responsibility. So what that means is that in many organizations, people are quick to blame others for their problems or their difficulties at work. Managers blame staff blame the managers, engineering blames sales blame marketing, and everyone blame finance, and it doesn't help. But in fact, with all the finger pointing going on, all it does is make it worse. So blaming yourself doesn't work either. So no matter how many mistakes you make, remember this: tomorrow is another chance to do better. Today matters. Do everything you can today and to the best that you can. And if you made some mistakes, okay, you made them, but you know something? Tomorrow, I get another chance to do better. You need higher self-esteem to give good service. Feeling ashamed will not help. It doesn't make sense to blame the computers, the systems, the budget, or anything else, or the people, because that kind of justification will only make the pain prolonged before the necessary changes take place. We just have to move past that. So the most reliable way to bring about constructive change in your organization is to take personal responsibility. Remember, if I'd shared in the early sessions, the whole thing about being above the point of power, taking ownership, being accountable, and being responsible, and help to make good things happen. Many recommendations. Make recommendations, propose new ideas, give suggestions, volunteer to help out with problem-solving teams and projects to see how we can get better. See the world from your customer's point of view. Get your team together. I'm running a mastermind now with some business owners and their leaders and managers in the company. It's good leaders ask great questions. And one of the questions we ask is, how did we do today? How can we exceed expectations? Those are the questions we ask the team. How can we get better tomorrow? And we often get so caught up in our own world that we lose sight of what our customers actually experience. Ask yourself every day, did we exceed? Did we exceed our customers' expectations? Did we exceed the standards that we have set? Do we check out at the end of the day and sit with the team and look at that? And so the last one now is to make time to stand on the other side of the counter or listen on the other end of the phone. We call that mystery shopping. So be a mystery shopper at your own place of business, or be a customer for your competition. So I always tell people, walk into your competitors and see how they treat you, or get a mystery shopper to do so and have somebody mystery shop you as well, because folks, it's all about getting better. And what you notice when you mystery shop is what your customers experience every single day. I remember I was at Citibank, and I remember we had this competition in which we wanted to ensure that everybody was answering the phone a certain way. And so it was Service Excellence Committee had come up with it. So they would mystery shop by calling externally from outside, so you couldn't see coming from an internal number, to see how you would answer the phone. And then what they would do is, if you consistently answered the phone the right way all the time, then you'd get a star. And so what everybody was doing now, when you get the star, you get to a certain amount of stars and you can claim a gift, etc. But what it did was cause us all to start making sure that we were responding to our customers in the same way when we answer the phone. And so that is how you can know what people are doing every day. It's just by mystery shopping. And so the final thing I want to say is this: remember that service in our is a currency. I really want to, let me just make sure I say that right. Service is the currency that keeps our economy moving. And you know, that thing about keeping our economy moving now is so important. And look at it this way: I serve you in one business and you serve me in another, which is why we have started these candid conversations and business tips with the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the voice of Jamaica, the voice of business in Jamaica. And what we're doing is having business people from different sectors, from different companies, all of us talking together about how we're navigating COVID in this time. Because, you know, I heard somebody saying to me that when all of this levels off, or, you know, when it gets back to normal, and I'm saying stop having the expectations when it get back to normal. This is the new normal. And so the challenge is, how are we all going to continue to work with each other, to serve each other in our various businesses? Because that's what's happening. The economy has to continue to turn. And so when either of us improves, the economy gets a little better. So in the Candid Conversation series, we're talking about what we are doing in our industries and how can we help you? How can those businesses help you? And we're listening and hearing what everybody is doing. And so together, through collaboration, we'll get better. So when either of us improves, our economy will get better. When both of us improve, people are sure to take notice. When everyone improves, the whole economy, Jamaica, grows stronger. And there is no longer any reason for all the depressing headlines to which we've become so accustomed. So let's start looking after, just claim your piece of Jamaica here now. And let's start looking after our customers. Each of us as business owners, let's start looking after our customers and let the economy look after itself, because it will. Perhaps, you know, maybe not a solution that Mr. Nigel Clark would endorse, but then that's that, you know? And so all of this is worth thinking about. We have to serve our customers. We always say in business, is purpose of our business is to get customers and keep them profitably. Everybody's cry is, I need more customers and I need to keep them. And the only reason why somebody will come back again is if you give great service and you deliver more than was expected. So let's work together. Let's work together. And remember this: I serve you in one business and you serve me in another. So that's it for today, folks. This is the reason why. Those were the 8 things. And as a recap, let me just go through them again. The first principle was understand how your customers' expectations are rising and changing over time. 2, use quality service to differentiate your business from your competition or your competitor. 3, set and achieve high service standards. 4, learn how to manage your customers' expectations. 4, bounce back with effective service recovery. 6, appreciate your complaining customers. 7, take personal responsibility. And 8, be a mystery shopper at your own place of business. Those were my 8 proven principles that I shared with you today. Now, I want to invite you to check in again with us on Thursday at 1 o'clock, where we will have another candid conversation. And this time, we're going to be having DBJ, the Development Bank of Jamaica. You heard us talk about them a lot, especially on that session that we had with Mariam Robinson from First Global Bank. And you heard the bank saying that, listen, we have a partner called DBJ. We have a partner called DBJ too, because DBJ helps us to be able to have our customers, Development Bank of Jamaica, access some of our programs through the voucher technical assistance program. And we've been doing so for years. So, we really wanted to have Christopher Brown from the Development Bank of Jamaica on that session. And then we also have the wonderful, effusive, and lovely Lisa Bell, President and CEO of the Exim Bank. She will also be on that session. So for everybody here, we have Exim Bank. So anything you have about, export, import, anything, their solutions, and the Development Bank of Jamaica. So please don't miss it. Chris Brown, Development Bank of Jamaica, Lisa Bell, Exim Bank. We're going to have an amazing session, folks. Please come in, because remember, when you're on these sessions, you can post your questions and they will answer them live. So tune in. It's 1 o'clock. We'll soon send out the information on it. But bookmark it in your calendar, 1 o'clock on Thursday, for our candid conversation with the Exim Bank and Development Bank of Jamaica. So talk to you soon, everybody. Keep safe. Wear your mask. Sanitize. Don't touch your face. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Have a wonderful afternoon. You're welcome.